give us your quick thoughts on practice, and we'll get started.
Yeah, today was a pretty full day. We did a lot of playing up and down the court, just trying at best to get our new players an opportunity to create some timing, both in the half court and in the full court. It's just coming together very fast. So we did a lot on the move. It was coaching on the move today.
Great, Coach. Thank you. Let's go ahead and open it up to questions. If you have a question, hit your reactions button down there and raise your hand through that way. That way we'll know you have a question and we can call on you. Let's go ahead and start with Masvita. Go ahead, Masvita, with your question.
Yeah, thanks. Hey, Coach, how much will the timing play affect Saturday, just in terms of, how will that play into it, your rotation?
That's a good question. I'll be honest with you. I wish I could confidently tell you. I think, we've tried to think through how we could get up to speed as fast as we could. And my guess is that there'll be a little bit of inconsistency. But in some cases, the players have caught on pretty quick. When you had players like Stewie looks like Stewie, but some of the ones that are completely new to us, it's, there's periods where you see it happening, then you throw in fatigue or something, and you can see they go to a thoughtful state rather than to a reactionary state. So it's a work in progress, but we're doing what we can. And I think the way we have trained gives ourselves a chance to at least develop some timing, because we've really done a lot of half and full court on the move and tried to coach on the move rather than stop and talk about things.
Well, spacing, obviously, how intrigued are you to see how they will execute in terms of spacing and all the coaching that they've had and express that on the court on Saturday?
Yeah, and then some of them are just at different stages, just to be honest with you. Some of them come in, Katie Lou was in today, and she spaces really good right now. She's still learning where the screens are and where the things are, and a little bit about our pace. But a player like that who has the ability to shoot the basketball, the spacing came pretty easily for her, in regard to it. And when we were able to play to that, it's good. But now, when you put movement, when you put timing on screening, those are things that just don't come sometimes quite as quickly.
Thank you.
Thanks, Masvita. Kevin, why don't you go next, Kevin?
Hey, Coach, what went into the decisions on those last couple of roster spots today?
Well, kind of where we needed, kind of where we needed to support our team in certain situations. I think we tried to look long-term as much as we could. What gives us the best chance over the season, and not just for the next game or two, to be honest with you. I think in our situation, it was important that we be able to address the situations as far as, some depth at a couple key positions. And it's kind of sad, because today is not I don't feel very good about myself today when you cut players that you would honestly like to have on Saturday. And that's actually true. But I think the decisions we made reflect our desire to be a championship team at some point. So they kind of went along those veins.
And then what went into the decision to place both Epiphany and Mercedes on the short-term suspended list? And do you know any more about their arrival timelines?
No. I know there's a lot of discussion that it might be a little sooner than we anticipated, but it's not going to be Saturday. But no, that's really more T, and she's in direct I'm not aware, other than there's when they tell me they're coming, that'll make me very, very happy. But I get the anticipation that it might be sooner rather than later. So, but we'll see. I have no definite information.
Okay, thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
There we go. Can you hear me? There we go. Sorry about that technical issue. Jeff, go ahead, Jeff. Sorry about that.
No problem. So, Coach, regarding the cuts of the rookies and training camp invitees, obviously you kept Stephanie Talbot and Kiana Williams, but including Piff and Mercedes, you're at 13. So eventually you'll have to make one more cut. Is it like kind of, I don't want to say guaranteed, but is it more likely than not that one of those cuts will be between Stephanie and Kiana, or can they play their way both onto the team?
I think they can play their way onto the team, to be honest with you. One of the things that Kiana and Stephanie offer, and especially in this situation right now, is they can play multiple positions. Their versatility, like Stephanie could play in the game on Saturday anywhere from the 2, 3, or 4. She's probably a 3, and that's where she is. And she had a camp that was, quite honestly, a little bit surprising. I'm well aware who she is. We had played against her in Phoenix, but the way she blended with the team and the versatility, the fact that she can play those positions as we're a little bit shorthanded, made her very, very attractive. And Kiana, that didn't totally surprise me that she impacted our camp, but the fact that she could play with the ball or without the ball gives us some versatility and some depth before we get Piff. But it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go. I have talked to several players that I'm not sure the choice will come there. There's a chance that they're valuable to us. They're so valuable that it may come in some other places. So it's still a little fluid, as I've told a lot of players that are kind of in that group. Keep playing and focusing and contributing, because until we get our full team here, we're not like sitting on an exact decision.
And then you just mentioned that Stephanie kind of really surprised you. So I assume kind of just exceeded expectations even for what you had of her.
Yeah. I'm just being genuine. I mean, I knew there was a chance, but when she got into camp and then just kind of watched her fit into our system, and both offensively and defensively, and then started seeing the versatility that we could make use of, eventually down the line. Yeah, that was a bit of, that was a bit of surprise, just to be frank, but a good surprise,
Mm-hmm. And then obviously I know it's been very limited, but just what you've seen from Katie Lou and Kiki Herbert-Harrigan, what are kind of the positives you're seeing already?
Well, I think with Katie Lou, she's in pretty good shape, and that's a good thing. I'm watching her, and I think she has a little bit of from an offensive standpoint, she looks fairly comfortable for somebody kind of going through day one of what we're doing. I think she's still working to get game speed with us, and what that really means, and understanding the depth of where situations are. Like you could see it click a couple times today, where she knew how to screen and move and create space within our offense. And then other times you could see her working through that. And Kiki, it was the first day, and Kiki, I think, needs a little work just on conditioning and those kind of things. But you could see her face up from the 4 position and the pick and pops and those type of things. She made shots today in a couple situations, and it's just a shame we couldn't have had her longer in training camp. But every day it'll be interesting for me to watch. But you can see she has some ability to stretch the floor like we like to at that post position.
Is that, especially as a coach, is that something like Kiki where she's not a completed product yet? Is that extra, like, I guess, special or interesting to you? Because you can continue to develop her and her game can continue to grow quite a bit.
Well, I hope so, but that's, our rosters are so tight in a lot of situations. We don't have a lot of room. You kind of need players that are going to be contributing now to some degree. Yes, there's examples. Mercedes Russell was an example of one that we invested in, and then the following year reaped the rewards. But these rosters are tough, and especially if you're dealing with the injury situations, or even situations this year where people are in and out for various reasons, and you need a lineup that can contribute up and down. But it's exciting, when you see a player maximize that opportunity. I just wish we had a vehicle in the WNBA more like what the NBA has to develop more players for that. We don't quite have the same number of opportunities, for example, that an NBA roster would have.
Right. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Thanks, Jeff. Let's go to Percy. Percy Allen, go ahead, Percy.
Awesome. Hey, Coach, I apologize if you've already answered this, but just have you then decided who your starters are for this first game? And in terms of the rotation, are you how big are you thinking there? 8, 9, or just how might that sort of look like?
Probably 9 right now. There's a chance that we could be forced to go deeper. In a perfect world, I kind of like playing 10. If you've studied through the years, we played 10 in that area. I don't know if we'll go to 10. We'll go to 9, and maybe we'll go to 10. But and it's starting, Sue and Jewel will start for sure. I'm going to give another day at the 3 to kind of see, kind of how it fits a little bit in regard to it. Candace and Stewie will start in that situation. We're going to bring Ezzy in a way to kind of use the 3 of them in a way to play the majority of minutes in the post. And in a perfect world, I would have Candace and Stewie, one of them, on the court the whole game, if the officials will be so kind as to let us do it that way. But I may have to, we're playing Vegas, and they're awfully big, awfully strong in the post, and they're going to throw it down there a lot. So we could have to go a little deeper in regard to that. But I'll decide tomorrow, at the 3 position, and kind of see where I think the rhythm is best. After Katie Lou's only been here 2 days, and then Steph has been here, and there's a pretty good rhythm there. So it probably would be between those 2.
Gotcha. Hey, and and think just with that there, just and I think we've asked you this before, but just your sort of expectations now that the opener is getting closer, and with all of the moving pieces, and just the things that you're expecting from this team early on, knowing that there's just so much newness to it.
Well, the expectation I have, honestly, is that offensively, we play in a way that looks familiar with me. The ball moves, the assists are high, because of ball movement. We separate from teams maybe at the 3-point line, or in our ability. We haven't been a great team getting to the line, but we've been a pretty good team at not fouling. And in our scrimmages, we didn't do a great job of that. Just to be blunt, we fouled quite a bit in the scrimmages. But I want to see those pillars that have been a part of our teams the last 3 years, in regard to it. And then I want to see the confidence grow on some of the new pieces. I want to see us be able to find their strengths a little bit. I know we won't find them completely in a big way. And then along the way, your true strengths are kind of carrying us. And honestly, defensively, I'd like to think that we can look like ourselves. I think that might be the biggest challenge, and all things being told. But do we look like ourselves, in regard to and I think it's a real challenge with Vegas because of their interior strength and presence is very, very, very unique. So, you know, that's a challenge. But, you know, I want us to look like Storm basketball. I am ready for some inconsistency, but I want to see Storm basketball along the way, and hopefully, maybe especially at key times.
And then just my last thing here, and I apologize if this was already asked, but just your thoughts on sort of Kit and just the things that she showed you in this camp here, and just like how tough was that decision there?
Did you say Kit? Is that what you said?
Yes.
That was real tough because she has a WNBA skill, you know, but we made a couple cuts of people that could really shoot the basketball. I mean, Haley was another one, but Kit, I mean, that's a WNBA skill right there. I mean, she's got it, but Haley had it too in camp. Those were hard cuts. You know, in a better world, I would have liked to have seen a way we could have kept them, but they'll play in the league. I think at some point, I think it will help their cause. Both of them defensively, you know, have some ground to cover, but offensively they can shoot the ball, folks. And it was real hard. It was real hard. I don't feel very good talking to you all right now. It's going to take a little while for me to realize that I've been through about 20 of these days, and I never feel good on these days because, you know, I can envision some of those players playing in the league, and I think they will. And we'll keep them on our radar. You know, it's not like we've totally moved them to some place we won't think about them, but I just never feel good on this cut down day. Never.
All right, Coach.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, Percy. We did have a couple of people join us late. If you have a question for Coach Hughes before we let him go ahead and hit that hand raise button. If not, we'll let Coach Hughes go. Percy, did you have one more follow-up?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, hey, I just want to get your thoughts on the Commissioner's Cup there. There's a whole lot to process for just people who aren't sort of used to it. I get the one question that I have for you is that I get the incentive for the players because there's a lot of money on the line. What incentive is there for a coach?
You know, Percy, that's a really good question. You know, that is not a softball question. So I'll try to answer it accurate. I'm still determining that, to be honest with you. I want to make sure that I'm protecting the health of the players, especially the ones that are going to be involved in a lot of games and those type of things. I understand the financial rewards, but I also understand it's not if your mission is to be a champion, that's probably a higher calling than this. But to me, it's, you know, in a perfect world where people are healthy and things are fine, it's an opportunity for us to continue to work game-like situations, meaningful situations, and learn to win important games, because that'll be an important game. There'll be a lot of eyes on it and like that. So I view it that way. But I also understand that the realities of doing everything you can for a championship and looking at the team and making sure that I'm doing all I can to keep players ready, veteran players ready for that run. But in a perfect world, we're healthy and everything's going good. And if we're fortunate to be in that game, good for the players. I think it will draw some attention. I think it will draw some conversation, and I'm happy about that. As a coach, I just hope I can have a healthy team and not have to make decisions. Well, do I play them in this game or not? Or because there's an opportunity here that they might be stretching themselves a little bit thin.
Yep. All right, Coach. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Coach. You go ahead and have a good rest of your day, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Okay.
And we're gonna switch things up a little bit. Kiki is running a little late, so we're gonna go to Katie Lou now. Katie Lou, there she is, joining us. If you have questions for Katie Lou, hit that hand raise button and the reaction section, and we'll get to you as quickly as we can. And then we will have Kiki join us after we are done here. Percy, go ahead and kick us off with Katie Lou. Percy Allen with Seattle Times.
Awesome. Hey, Katie Lou, welcome to the town, and it's cool to have you here and cool to see you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Hey, I'm just wondering, when like you're traded for the #1 overall pick, does that add, I guess, any expectations upon your arrival with your new team, and how do you handle all of that?
I think for me, I'm able to just be excited for this opportunity. People have their opinions and what they want to say, but I'm happy that Storm has traded for me. I'm happy that I'm on this team right now, and I'm excited to just, have a great year and play to the best of my abilities that I can.
Hey, and obviously it's so new. You just got here, and I'm sure you're trying to figure everything out. But do you have an idea as to what your role on the team may be?
Today was my first day of practice. I think I played a lot at the 3 today and just tried to really stretch the floor. Be able to be versatile so that we can just play off of each other. We have so many great players that can play in multiple positions. And so being able to be a person that fits in with that and really elevates that is kind of my goal, instead of, being any type of liability, being someone that can elevate the team whenever, I'm in defensively, offensively, whatever I need to do.
And do you have any expectations for this team, in particular, being that it's so new and there's so many new pieces that are being added sort of late to the mix?
Yeah, I think, there's still a core group of people that really know what it is to be a championship team. And so every new person has to come in and be ready to learn from them, be ready to pick up on things as quickly as possible, because, we don't want to be the reason that we miss a beat. We want to be there every single step of the way and just pick up where they left off. And I think, we'll see how we gel together, the chemistry, and how that continues to develop over the next few weeks. But I think we have a lot of tools, a lot of really good players, a lot of really good team atmosphere out there. So we'll see what we can do.
Awesome, Katie Lou. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Percy. Kevin, why don't you go ahead, Kevin?
Hey, Katie Lou. You mentioned excitement, but what was the first reaction to finding out about the trade and reuniting with Stewie?
Excitement's the word. I think, we have a really good friendship. We had a great friendship developed when I was a freshman. She was a senior, and she's kind of been there every step of the way for me, always giving me advice when I need it. And, we've been able to come together always at USA camps, things like that. But to hear that we were able to play again together, I was super excited. I thought that was pretty awesome to kind of come full circle back to that.
Mm-hmm. Strong season for you, obviously, overseas. How do you kind of keep that going now coming into the WNBA?
I just am focusing on keeping my confidence and playing to the best of my abilities. I think I know what I can do and what I can bring to a team. And so just to, keep that always in my head.
Thanks.
Thanks, Kevin. Jeff, go ahead, Jeff Brown.
Kevin basically just took both my questions, so I'm going to adjust on the fly. So similar to that last one with Kevin, did anything kind of click for you this overseas season? Because obviously, you really start taking your game to a whole new level.
Yeah, I don't know if anything really clicked. I think I just, felt comfortable playing like myself, and I think I took the opportunity I had and really chose to get back to how I know I can play. And like I said, this year, this season is just about keeping that confidence and keeping it going forward. There's a lot of ups and downs that are always going to come, but making sure that, I know what I can do as a player and what I can bring.
And then obviously you've only been with the team for about a day, but just, seeing the Storm play over these past couple of years, kind of how they run their offense. How do you think you can fit in with that and benefit from that type of style of play?
I think I can fit in really well. Today, for example, they kind of just threw us in there, threw me in there, and a lot of the stuff with the team is reading and reacting. And I feel like I play very well in a system like that. And so for me, just being to play off of other people, and the Storm has clearly been doing that for a long time, where it's hard to guard because everyone's just playing. There's no necessarily you have to do this here, have to do this there. It's do it with confidence, and your other teammates will play off of you. And so I'm excited to be a part of that. I think it's going to be a really good system for me to fit in.
Awesome. And just last one from me. You did a piece on mental health, and then just talk about the importance of that. Because obviously, like, being a professional athlete, it's like, oh, everything's so wonderful. But like in reality, obviously you guys go through your own struggles. So just talk about that.
Yeah, there's a ton of ups and downs. I think it's actually Mental Health Month right now, Mental Health Awareness Month. And so being an athlete and having, there's always pressure on you. There's always going to be things that happen in your sport specifically that, can take a toll on your mental health. But people only get to see the picture of the game, the stats, the outcome, if you win, you lose, and all that. But there's a lot that goes into, every day going and preparing to be in practice, preparing to play your hardest every day. And I think people have been speaking out a lot more about the importance of mental health and being aware that, athletes, everyone from, the best athletes in the world, Olympians, to, young girls in middle school playing sports, it's going to be hard. There's going to be times where you have a lot of ups and downs, and you don't have to put on this face that, you're never have bad days. Like, it's okay to have a bad day. You just got to take those bad days and bounce back from it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Welcome to Seattle.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. Masvita, why don't you take us on, Masvita?
Yeah. Hey, Katie Lou, I'll kind of stay on that, good day, bad day thing. So without getting too personal, where do you go just to find some comfort and peace on a day that might not be as good as maybe yesterday?
Yeah, I have a lot of really, really good people around me that, I can go to and talk to when I'm having a bad day. This overseas season, I was fortunate enough to play with my sister, and, she kind of got to hear me not complain, but I was able to vent to her and always talk through things with her. And I think having someone around you, and whether that's a friend, I think it's also important that people have, professionals that they can talk to as well. But just having a really strong support system for me is what works the best, I think. People that can always pick me up whenever I'm feeling down, and, just ways to take yourself out of that state that you're in, whether that's needing to be distracted or needing to do something different, but having people that know kind of what you need specifically.
And then lastly, normally when you come onto a team, there is a tendency to kind of want to prove yourself. How comfort is it playing for the Storm, and they have proven players and you're now part of the team, but knowing that as long as you play your best, you can fit in with the team. So having that patience to blend in and taking the time without pushing yourself and rushing the process.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's really important to, fit in as a player on this team. They've been so successful for so many years for a reason. They don't need someone to come in and try to do something different that people haven't done before, or try to completely change the system. Like, there's players here that have been here, proven themselves and all that. So making sure that, for me as a player, that I fit in and that I can elevate other people around me or the team overall in certain ways, whether that's hustle plays, whether that's rebounding, whether that's defense, doing all the little things in order to make the whole team better.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us, Katie Lou. We appreciate it. We will see you at different times throughout the season.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to be joined by Kiki. Now we're going to have her join us here. And there she is. And can you hear us okay?
Yeah.
There we go. All right. If you have a question for Kiki, go ahead and hit that hand raise button. Since Kiki is new as well in Seattle, if you could also just let us know your name and who you're with, just so she can get familiar with who we're asking questions of. We'll start with Percy. Go ahead, Percy.
Hi, Kiki. Percy Allen with the Seattle Times. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. What about you?
I'm okay. I'm all right. Thank you. Hey, I know that it's been early here, but just do you have an idea as to what your role might be with this team and how you fit into things here?
I feel like I fit in pretty well. I feel like one of the main things that I could really, help with on this team is, my defensive ability. So, I mean, just doing that and my offense to come in with that, along with that.
And then just your thoughts when you found out that you were traded on back then were what?
It was kind of surprising, I mean, I was pretty excited about it though. I mean, Seattle's a great place, so I was excited to, be able to join this team.
Hey, I heard that you had a hard time to even sort of make it here, or to sort of get out where you in Turkey, and did you have a hard time getting out of Turkey? And if you could sort of maybe highlight what happened with all of that.
So I actually left overseas early. I live in Miami, grew up in Miami, half my life or whatever, but it was just a problem with the visa, getting my work permit. So it was just a lot with that. And I mean, I had a lot of people helping me behind the scenes, from the Storm organization, from the sports organization back home in Anguilla. So I just had a lot of people helping me, and I'm thankful for them, because they were part of the reason that, I was able to get through everything as fast as I did.
Was it a stressful time? Did you ever think that you might not make it here?
I was pretty confident I would eventually make it here. So I was pretty good with that.
All right, cool. Thank you, Kiki. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Thanks, Percy. B. Terrell, let me go to you, B. Terrell.
Hey, Kiki, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. As always, it's good to speak to you. So, you went overseas. You were playing, for, is it K-Series, if I'm pronouncing it correctly?
Hi, Surya.
Hi, three. Sorry about that. And had a chance, obviously, playing with Ty. And what was your overseas experience like? And how do you feel like that's helped you prepare going into your second season in the pros?
My overseas experience was good. Being able to see a different culture. I mean, it's definitely different from being home, but I mean, it was great. Being able to try new food and play against new people and all that type of stuff. And it was great. And I was, thankful that I had Ty, which is, my old teammate. Me and Ty are really close. So it was just great being able to, be on the same team with her as well. So overall, it was a good experience.
Okay, now, how do you, obviously, just coming from Miami, compare the weather from Miami to Seattle? So far,
Well,
I just got there.
I wasn't expecting it to be this cold in Seattle still. But I mean, it's cool. It's not, the weather's not bad. It was, obviously different for me coming from warm weather, and it's a little chilly out here, but I like it.
Okay, and last question, going forward, obviously, Anguilla, you're from Anguilla. Is there possibly a goal of yours to maybe compete for the British national team in the future?
So while I was overseas, they reached out and all that type of stuff. I just had a lot going on at the moment. So it'll be definitely something I'll think about doing in the future.
Okay, good. Have a good season.
Thank you.
Thanks, Pete. Appreciate it. Kevin Pelton. Go ahead, Kevin.
Hey, Kiki, first of all, curious, you saw the Storm team on the opposite side last year in the bubble playoffs. What kind of stood out? What do you remember from that experience?
I mean, they're overall a great team, at all positions. A very tough team to guard because, the system they play. So, I mean, I'm really excited to be with this program this year.
Coach Hughes has mentioned using you perhaps on the wing, perhaps in the front court as kind of a power forward. Is there a spot you feel more comfortable between those two?
For as my natural position, obviously, more comfortable there, but I'm open to, to try new things. And I've definitely played on the wing before. So, I mean, that's something definitely I want to do and I wouldn't mind doing.
Thanks.
Thanks, Kevin. Jeff Brown, go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, geez, what the heck was that? Sorry. Hey, Kiki. So obviously under college, you were with Coach Don Staley, and then in the WNBA, you get to be with Cheryl Reeve your rookie season, two legendary coaches. Can you just tell me like maybe a couple things that really stand out to you that you've learned from both of those coaches?
Dawn has taught me a lot. I've improved so much as a player and as a person under her wing. I'll say the most valuable thing, coming in my freshman year, that was I am still a feisty player, but that was very emotional. I'm a very emotional player, but she's just taught me to channel my emotion, into a good way while I'm on the court, and not let anyone else, knock me off my game and that type of stuff. So that's definitely one of the biggest things, she's taught me in terms of basketball wise.
And then anything about Cheryl Reeve?
Yeah, she's a great coach. She's helped me a lot through my rookie season. I've learned a lot from them and, the coaching staff on the link. So nothing but good things to say about them as well.
Awesome. And then the Mad Kiki nickname, did that come from the South Carolina fans?
Yes, it did.
And then do you like that name? Are you cool with like media referencing that? And
yeah, I have no problem with it. I mean, I feel like it fits me because I'm kind of a mad player, but yeah.
And then what would you say is maybe like your most underrated part of your game?
I felt like coming into my rookie season, I mean, I've always been known as a player that can shoot, but I feel like coming into my rookie season last year, a lot of teams didn't really know that I could shoot the three ball as well as I did. So that's definitely something I'll say.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Welcome to Seattle.
Thank you.
Masvita, why don't you wrap things up again for us, Masvita?
Yeah, hey, thanks. Hey, Kiki, you're talking about it's cold. For us in Seattle, this is a warm day. So we were all like, what? I was anyways, but welcome. And hey, just going back to this topic about defense, why is that something that you thrive on? And, can you tell me about that process, why you like defense so much?
Like I said, I'm an emotional player, and I just get a lot of energy from, getting stops on defense, getting blocks and that type of stuff. If you're playing against a good player, going in there and, having a plan to try to shut them down, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like that's just where I get a lot of my energy from.
And is that part of I do believe you said that, you're excited to come to the Storm. There's a lot of reasons why people want to come here, but was their ability to play defense one of those things?
Yes, definitely. And the way they play together as a team, and, they share the ball and pass the ball a lot, and they just play together, and it's really, playing against them, it's really hard to guard.
Thank you very much.
Kiki, thank you so much for joining us today. We really appreciate it, and we will let you go. Just as a reminder again for everybody on the call with us, we will be with you tomorrow from Angel of the Winds Arena right after the team practices at 1:30, different time than we normally are. So 1:30, you'll join us. We'll have Subert on with Coach Hughes as well. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you all later.